Okay, Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. So I'm going to share with you the solution for set 4 wow DM025. Okay, so we take a look for section A. So section A will cover 25%. So the first question. So the first question, given fx and gx, and then you need to find m prime by using first principle. So you need to know that m prime is actually the derivative, the first derivative of the function mx. So given mx is equal to this expression. And then you need to find m prime 3, meaning that you need to substitute after you get m prime, and then you need to substitute 3 into the variable x. So here is here we have 8 marks. Okay, so the first thing you need to substitute the function gx and fx into the function mx. And then you need to simplify. Okay, so you will get the first mark. Okay, then you need to find mx plus h because of the formula of the first principle. So the formula for the first principle, you have expression for mx plus h. Okay, then you substitute into the formula of the first principle, which is fx plus h minus fx divided with h. Okay, so here you have fractions, fraction minus a fraction. So if you have this pattern, you need to equalizing the denominator. Okay, so the second marks is for you substitute the function mx and mx plus h. Okay, then you need to equalizing the denominator. So you will get the next mark. And then the numerator you need to simplify, expand and simplify. And then you will get 6h as the numerator. Meanwhile, the denominator you don't have to, you just stay with the factorized form. You don't have to expand. So if you simplify, you will get the next mark. And then you will simplify the h. So h divided with h. So you will have 6 only. And then after you cancel h, you can substitute the h term with the h with 0. Okay, you will get the next mark. And then simplify, you will get the final mark. So for the next question, you need to find m prime 3. From the previous question, you already have m prime. So for the m prime 3, you just need to substitute x with 3. Okay, so you will get the first mark, and then when you calculate the value, you will get the final answer, and then you will get the last mark. Now, question number 2. You have 2 questions. The first one, you need to evaluate the definite integral. And the second one, you need to uh, evaluate the definite integral by using substitution method. For question A, for this expression, if you have a constant and divide with something in bracket, and inside the bracket you have linear, then you have a formula to direct integrate this kind of expression. So you can rewrite the expression into, you bring the denominator as become the numerator, and then the power will change. We change the sign. So here you get 1 mark. Okay, then you can proceed with your integration. So to integrate this form, you need to plus the power, you need to plus with 1, and then you divide with the new power, and then you multiply. You need to multiply with the coefficient of x. Okay, so here 1 mark, and then you simplify, and then the next mark is 4. You substitute the upper limit into x, and then minus lower limit, substitute into x, and then you calculate the value, you get the final answer, and then you get the last mark. Remember, this rule can be applied if inside the bracket is linear function or linear expression, which is x power of 1. If inside the bracket is x power of 2 or more, or other than x power of 1, you cannot use this way of integration. You need to use, maybe you need to use other technique. For question B, you need to use the substitution method. So you need to differentiate u, then you rearrange so that the same variable at one side. So this step you will get first mark. Okay, the second mark is for you change the lower limit and the upper limit from x to in terms of u. So how to change? You can use the equation or the relation between u and x. If you substitute x with 0, you will get u equal to 4 minus 0. So u is 4. If you substitute x with 1, you will get 4 minus 1 equal to 3. So u is 3. So that is your new lower and upper limit. Okay, next, you will identify the expression. So since you have x power of 3, so you can separate x power of 3 into x power of 2 and x. So then you can substitute the expression of x dx with du over negative 2. So x dx become du over negative 2. So now your expression in terms of u only. So here you will get the next mark. Okay, then you can simplify and so 4 4 divided with u power of 3, 4 divided with u power of 3 will get 4u power of negative 3. And then u divide with u power of 3, you will get u power of negative 2. Okay, so in this expression, you can integrate separately, meaning you integrate for u power of negative 3 and you integrate u power of negative 2. You can integrate separately. Okay, so so the process for integration, you get 1 mark, and the next mark is 4. You substitute the upper and the lower limit. So remember, you have the new limit in terms of u. So your limit is 3 and 4. You calculate, and then you get the final answer, and then you get the final mark. Next question we have, you need to find the area for the shaded region. Okay, so here you have, okay, so the limit is 1, and you don't know the limit for the upper limit. So how to find the upper limit? You need to find the point of intersection between the green curve and the orange curve. So to find the point of intersection, you need to do simultaneous equation. To solve simultaneous equation. Okay, so you equal the two curve 1 and curve 2, and then you expand, and then you simplify, and then you will get a cubic. So a cubic equation. So for this cubic equation, you can use calculator to find or to solve x. So you will get 3 value of x. Okay, so for this process, finding the point of intersection, you will get 2 marks. Alright, so to decide which x to choose, so since the upper limit is on the positive side of the x, so we will reject the negative value. Okay, so we left with 2 and 8. So if we draw the graph for the orange curve, the green curve. So green is quadratic. So quadratic will continue as a shape of like inverted cup. So so here you will have another intersection point. So the third intersection point will be 8. Will be 8.123. So that's why we will choose x equal to 2 as the upper limit for the area we want to find. So next we want to find the area under the curve. So we use the formula, which is area is equal to integrate lower limit until upper limit, upper function minus with the lower function. Okay, so we identify the limit. 1 until 2. So for the upper function is the orange curve. So the orange curve is 2 over x. Okay, then we minus with the lower function. So the lower function for the area is the green curve. So the green curve is the quadratic function. Okay, so here you have 1 mark. So for the integrate, you can integrate 2 over x directly. You can integrate 10 directly. And for the bracket, and you have linear. So you have linear inside the bracket. So you can also direct integrate. So for the linear, the power must plus with 1 and divide with the new power, and then you need to multiply the denominator with coefficient of x. So since your x is multiplied with 1, so the denominator will be 3 times 1, so it's equal to 3. So here you have 1 mark, and the next mark is 4. You substitute the upper limit into x, and then minus with the substitute lower limit into x, and then you calculate the value, and then you get the final answer and then the final mark. Now we take a look section B. So section B will cover 75% of the exam. So for question 1, you need to differentiate the following functions. So you have 3 functions to differentiate. For the first question, you need to differentiate a trigo sine. So to differentiate a trigo, you need to remember, you need to differentiate the sine. So you will get cos. Differentiate sine, you will get positive cos. And then the angle will be the same. And then you need to differentiate the angle. Okay, so to differentiate the angle here, you need to remember how to differentiate the exponent. So to differentiate the exponent, you copy back all the function for the exponent, and then you need to differentiate the power. So the power of the exponent you need to differentiate, and then you will get negative 3x squared. So here you have to mark 2 marks, and then you simplify, you rearrange, and then you will get the final answer and your last mark. For second question, to differentiate ln, you will get 1 over the function inside ln, and then you need to multiply with the derivative of the function inside ln. So to differentiate tangent power of 3, you can use power rule. So you can rewrite as tangent to x power of 3. So power bring in front, and then copy down the function inside the bracket, and then power less 1, and then you need to differentiate inside the bracket, which is tangent to x. So 3 tangent to x power of 2. So differentiate tangent, you will get secant square 2x, and then you need to differentiate the power, the angle of the secant. So you will get 2. So that is how you get this expression. And then you simplify the expression, and then you get the final marks. The final mark. Okay, for the question C, here you cannot differentiate separately because you have a function multiply with another function. So you need to use product rule. So to use product rule, you need to identify your u and v, and then you differentiate u, and then you differentiate v, and then here you will get 2 marks, and then you substitute into the formula of the product rules, which is here you have vu prime plus uv prime. Okay, so here you have 1 mark, and then you simplify, you get the last mark. For question number 2, you are given a function y, and then you need to find second derivative, and then you need to evaluate the value of your second derivative when x equal to 0. So to differentiate ln, you will get 1 over the function of inside ln, and then you need to differentiate. You need to multiply with the derivative of the function inside ln. Okay, then you will get that expression, this expression, and then here you get 1 mark, and then you simplify, get another mark, and then to find your second derivative, since your function is a function divide another function, so you cannot differentiate directly, so you need to use quotient rule. So to use quotient rule, you need to identify your u and v. So u is the numerator and v is your denominator, and then you differentiate u and you differentiate v. So for this process, you will get 2 marks, and then you substitute into the formula for the quotient rule, which is vu prime minus uv prime divide with v square. Okay, then you can expand the numerator, and there you can simplify. So you get the final answer in the simplest form. And then to find the value of your second derivative when x equal to 0, you just substitute x with 0 into your second derivative. Okay, then you get the value, and then you will get the final mark. Proceed to question number 3. You are given a function y. A, you need to find the first and second derivative, and then B, you need to show that the equation, the left hand side is equal to the right hand side. So to differentiate this expression, so since you have a function multiply with another function, so you need to use product rule to find the first derivative. So you divide into two parts, u, and then you differentiate the part u, the u part, and then for v, you differentiate the v part. So here you can use power rule. Okay, so you will get 2 marks, and then you substitute into the formula of the product rules. So VU prime plus U V prime. So substitute into the formula, you will get 1 mark, and then you simplify, and then you get the last mark. So this for the first derivative. Okay, so to continue to find the second derivative, you need to differentiate the first derivative. So here again, you have two functions. Something in with x multiply with a function with x variable. Okay, next, identify u, differentiate u, and then identify v, and then differentiate v. So here you can use power rule. Okay, you get 2 marks, and then substitute into the formula of product rule. So here you have VU prime plus UV prime. So get 1 mark, and then you can simplify. You can, since the denominator is the same, so you can rewrite as a single fraction. Okay, then B, you need to show that the left hand side is equal to the right hand side. So you can start with the left hand side. So for the left hand side, the term of the expression for second derivative, you can substitute with the second derivative that you get from the previous question. And then for the dy, the first derivative, you substitute with the first derivative that you get from the previous question. Okay, next you need to simplify. So x squared divided with x squared is 1, x divided with x is 1. Okay, then the negative x ln x squared at the negative 6 ln x squared plus 6 ln x squared, you will get 0, and then you will get only 12 ln x. So if you compare with the equation from the question given, the right hand side is 12 ln x, which is equal with your right hand side, with your left hand side. Now question 4, you need to find the following integral. So for A, you need to expand the numerator. So if you expand the numerator, and then you will get here e power of 4x plus 6 plus 9 e power of negative 4x. And then the denominator e power of 2x you can bring as the numerator, but the power will change. You need to change the sign of the power, so it will. So here you have negative 2x. Okay, next you can expand. Okay, so to expand e power of 4x, multiply with e power of negative 2x. So since your base is the same, e, so you can add the power. So e power of 2x. So here you have e power of 2x. So same goes to so 6 multiply with e power negative 2x, and then 9 e power of negative 4x multiply with e power of negative 2x. So negative 4x plus negative 2x. So you will get negative 6x. Okay, and then you can integrate separately. So integrate e power of 2x, you will get here this. Don't forget to add plus c. Okay, then simplify, and then you will get the last marks for the final answer. Okay, so question B, uh, here you need to expand. So you need to expand. So 4x minus 3 over x square, 4x minus 3 over x square. So 4x multiply with 4x, and then 4x multiply with negative 3x square. Okay, then you simplify, you will get this expression. So here you will get 1 mark, and then only then you can integrate separately. So integrate 16x square, you will get 16x power of 3 over 3, and so on. So to integrate 9 over x power of 4, remember you need to rewrite the expression as 9x power of negative 4. And then you integrate 9x power of negative 4. So power of negative 4 will plus 1. So that's why you will get negative 3. And then divide with the new power, negative 3, and then plus c. When you have done your integrate, you need to add c. Okay, then simplify, and then you get your last mark. Okay, for question C, to integrate, you can use formula trigo, which is the identity sine square x plus cos square x is equal to 1. So 1 minus sine square is equal to cos square. Okay, then you can simplify. You can simplify 4 cos power of 3 divided with cos power of 2. So you will get 4 cos 2x. And then here 5, and then 3 over cos square. So 3 over cos square is equal to secant square. And then you can proceed with the integration, since here you have a trigo, and then you can integrate separately. So integrate cos, you will get positive sign, and then you need to remember, you need to um, divide with the coefficient of x inside the angle. Okay, so integrate secant square, you will get tangent. And then you simplify, you will get the last mark. Question number 5. You want to integrate the following. So you have 2 questions. So the first question, you can, since you have something, a function, divide another function, so you cannot integrate directly. So you can use technique. So technique, you can use technique of substitution. So to use technique of substitution, you need to choose the right u. So if you have exponent, so the power of exponent will be u, and then you need to differentiate u with respect to x. So differentiate tangent, you will get secant square. And then you need to remember to multiply with the derivative of the angle. And then you rearrange so that the same variable will be on the same side. So here you have the right hand side, you have only variable x. The left hand side, you have variable u. So here you have 1 mark. Okay, then you substitute. So you substitute the secant square 3x dx. You will substitute with du over 3. And the tangent, the power of exponent, tangent 3x. So tangent 3x will become u. Okay, here you will get 1 mark. And after you have changed, you have the form of one variable only, then you can proceed with your integration. So integrate 1 over e power of u, you can rewrite as e power of negative u. And then you integrate with respect to u, and then you will get the answer. So the answer here should be J1. The mark should be J1. Okay, then you need to substitute back your u in terms of x. Then you get the final answer and the final mark. So question B. Okay, here you have two functions. So you cannot direct integrate. So you can solve this integral by using technique. So before using the technique, you can rewrite the expression. So you can use law of log. So if you have quotient inside the ln, you can use ln minus ln. So ln 3 divide minus with the ln x power of 3. So 3 you can bring to the front. So that's why you will get 3 ln x. Okay, here you get 1 mark. Okay, then you can integrate, expand. You can expand. And then so you have the easy part here, to integrate to x ln 3. So for this expression, you can integrate directly because we have a constant multiply with a function. So you can integrate directly. Meanwhile, for this, for the second term, since you have a function multiply with another function, a function with x multiply with another function with x, so you need to use technique. So you can use technique by part, integrate by part. Okay, so to use integration by part, you need to separate, you need to divide or choose u and dv. So u, to choose the the best u, you need to use loped. So since your function you have ln, so ln will be the priority to be as u. So u is equal to ln, and then you need to differentiate the u with respect to x, and then the other part, which is 6x dx, will be dv. So for the dv part, you need to integrate. So integrate 6 power of 6x, you will get 3x square. So the process of finding u dv and then differentiate u and integrate dv, you have 2 marks. Then you substitute into the formula of by part. So uv minus integrate v du. Okay, so here you will get 1 mark. So for the first term, you can integrate. You just have to integrate the x. So you will get x squared over 2. Because 2 and ln 3 is constant. Then you simplify. And then you integrate the 3x. And then you will get 3x squared over 2. And here you will get 2 marks. Question 6. You need to find the integral of x e to the power of 4x. Then you need to calculate the volume of the region bounded by the curve y, the line x equal to 1, x-axis, y-axis, rotated 2 pi radians about the x-axis. So to finding the volume, you need to identify the rotation about the x-axis or the y-axis because the formula is different. So for integrate, you need to, since you have a function multiplied with another function, so you cannot integrate directly. So we can use technique. By part. So to use the integration by part, you need to identify u and dv from the expression. So to identify u, you need to use Lopet. So since you have polynomial x and exponent, function exponent, so we will pick or choose the polynomial or the x as u, because polynomial is better choice of u according to the ranking. So differentiate u with respect to x, and the remaining expression, which is e power of 4x dx, you will choose as dv, and then for dv you need to integrate. So this process you will get 2 answer, 2 marks. Next, you need to substitute into the formula of by part. So the formula is uv minus integrate v du. So you still have integration here. So you need to solve the integral of e power of 4x. And then you will get the final answer. To find the volume, you need to use the formula for the volume, which is pi integrate outer function square minus inner function square. So since you have, so your outer function is actually the function, the curve, and then your inner function is actually your x-axis. So if your inner function is your x-axis, so the function is actually 0. So that's why here you have only one function. Okay, next, so you square the function because the formula is square, and then you get this function, this expression. So if you compare with the previous question, so you have the same expression, the same function. So since the function is the same, you can use the solution that you get from the integral. So you can skip the you don't have to go through the integration, because you already done the integration from the previous question. So you can proceed with the solution. So you just use the solution from your previous integral, and then you substitute the upper limit into the x, and then minus with the substitute the lower limit into x. Okay, then you calculate the value, and then you will get the final answer, and the unit is unit cube. Question number 7. So you need to find the area bounded by the curve, by two curves, and then you need to find the area and volume of a curve x axis, line x equal to 2 and line x equal to 7. So for finding the area, you need to sketch, because you need to identify which function is on the upper function and which function is on the lower function. So to sketch a linear, you just have to find the intercept. So when x is 0, y is 1, and when y is 0, your x is negative 1 over 2. Okay, for the second function, you have third function. So third function, you can use y dot sim. So xy is for the sign. So for x, you have positive, and for y, so the sign for y you can identify outside of the set. So outside of the set is positive. So the y sign is positive, and dot is point when x equal to 0. So your y is 3. And sim is for symmetry. So the symmetry is when the value inside the set is always greater and equal to 0. So x is always greater than equal to 0. Okay. For the linear function, we plot when x is 0, y is 1. When x is negative 1 over 2, your x is 0. And then you join 2 points here, and you will get and then draw as a straight line. Okay, next for the third function, x and y is positive sign, so somehow the graph will go towards the upper right, and then the point for the third function is x0, y3. So x0, y3 is here. Okay, then the symmetry is when the symmetry is x greater than equal to 0, meaning that the graph is only at the right of the x0. Okay, so your area is between the two curve. So the curve is 2x plus 3, and the straight line is 2x plus 1. So after you sketch, you can see that the set function is on top, and the linear function is the lower function. Okay, but here you need to find the limit. So for the lower limit, the lower limit is from 0, and the upper limits you need to find the upper limit. To find the upper limit, you need to use simultaneous equation. So you equal the fx and gx, and then you need to solve this equation. So this equation you have set, so you need to square the set. So you need to square both sides, and then expand, and then simplify, factorize. Okay, then you will get to answer. But since during the process to solve equation, you square both sides, so you need to check. So you need to check whether 2x plus 1 will get the same answer with the right hand side. So when you substitute x with 1 over 2, you will get 2. And if you substitute the right hand side with 1 over 2, you will get 4. So x equal to 1 over 2 is not the answer, so we need to reject. So if you check the value of 2, so you will get 5, and for the right hand side, you will also get 5. So the only answer is s equal to 2. So your upper limit is actually 2. Okay, then so since we know that the upper function is the third function, and the lower function is the linear, so upper function minus with the linear function, with the lower function. Okay, limit is from 0 until 2. Okay, then you can rewrite 2x, set 2x as 2x power of 1 over 2, and then you integrate. Okay, then you substitute upper limit, and then you minus with the substitute the lower limit, and then you will get the answer with unit square. Question B, you need to find the area and volume of the function. Okay, so you can sketch. So here you have quadratic. For quadratic, you have more than one way to sketch. So for this pattern, you can factorize, and then you can try to find the x-intercept, which is when y is equal to 0, so x will get 0 and 10. So when x is 0 and y is 10 and 10, so the graph will intercept the x-axis at x equal to 0 and x equal to 10. Okay, then the curve, the area is bounded by x equal to 2, and x equal to 7. So that is your area, region shaded. Okay, so you have the limit, lower limit 2 and your upper limit is 7, and your upper function is your x-axis and your lower function is your curve y equal to x squared minus 10x. So that's why, so the function will be 0 minus the curve, because 0, the part C, the x-axis is 0, and minus the curve. Okay, then you can integrate. Then you substitute the upper limit minus substitute the lower limit, and then you get the answer. Okay, for volume, the function is outer square. So outer square minus inner square. So your outer is actually your outer is actually your curve. Outer is actually your curve. Outer is the function that more is far from the x-axis. So the curve is your outer function, and your inner is actually the x-axis. Okay, then you can expand, and then you can integrate. So integrate, and then you substitute upper limit minus with lower limit. Okay, then you get the answer.